I'm a little bit late, but hey, it's my birthday. I am allowed to be a little bit late today. Happy birthday me. Anyway, super excited to be here with you starting this What Women Want series for the next 6 days. Over the next 6 days, I am going to be sharing with you some little nuggets of wisdom, ladies. Nuggets of wisdom that I've applied in my own life that have helped me create what I am living today. And, you know, for many, many years, I got stuck in what I really thought was happiness. And it wasn't until everything came crashing down and everything changed that I realised what true happiness was. And maybe it's a little bit cliche and I'm feeling a little bit Disney because I've just put some Disney on for my daughter to buy myself 20 minutes to talk to you now. But, you know, kind of all joking aside, we grow up in this world where, you know, we watch magical things and we see all this wonder. And I saw something the other day that said, you know, babies are born with two fears. One of being dropped and the other one, oh God, it has completely escaped my mind now, but it was something really, really super simple. And actually what it made me realise is that we are so conditioned through our lives, even more than I ever really knew before, into becoming people that maybe aren't the people that we want to be, being women who we think we should be because our mom said this or somebody else said this, or, you know, we followed some role model and we kind of feel like we should be this person. But should? Really? Should? What about desire to be? What about want to be? What about have a deep passion within you to live in a certain way? And maybe that is not the way that you are living your life right now. So hopefully by the end of this series, what you're going to have is you're going to have some fire in your belly. You're going to have, I know that if you watch all of them, you're going to have fire in your belly. You're going to have some tools to start helping you do things differently. You're going to have some opportunities available to you. And most importantly, maybe you're going to have a little bit more happiness in your life compared to what you've got right now, because that is absolutely my aim. Happiness is so underrated. To me, it's the most important energy on the planet. And it's the one that we take for granted the most. It's the one that we don't think is so significant. And it's the one that sometimes we lose sight of why we actually want it. So today, and forgive me, I am going to look at notes because I've written some notes down to make sure that we get some really key information here. But today we are talking about commitment, integrity, and we are talking about responsibility. So the first question is, what happens when you commit? So what happens to you when you commit? Well, you know, as I said, my entire vibe, my entire passion now is about helping women to be real, helping women to be raw, helping women to live their lives on their terms. Because I know for so long I lived my life on somebody else's terms. I lived my life in a way that I thought other people wanted me to live it. And actually, do you know what? They didn't really have half of the thoughts that I thought they were having. And actually, didn't matter what it was that they thought, because it was all about me, and that was the most important thing. So this is about unlimited, unleashed and unincorporated from what was. Because when you unleash yourself, when you create the own rules of your life and when you create your path, you really seriously attract what you are vibrating. And when you are vibrating at that kind of level and in that kind of way, that is when seriously magical things start to happen. So why is it that you need to commit to you? Well, you know, I can hold my hands up and say that I've done this a lot in the past, that I've committed to certain things. I have said that certain things are going to happen and then they didn't. And then I beat myself up about the fact that it didn't happen. I'm just going to grab a quick drink of coffee. I have my chicken hen mug. And you know, we are in a whole new era of energy. My amazing friend John Sherry is an energy reader, and go and check out his page and see what he's talking about with the energy. But you know, he is talking about, and I totally feel it with what he's saying. Even before I saw what he said, I feel it. We're in this whole new energy, this amazing new vibration. And you know, I kind of do truly believe that when he said 2019 is maybe the year that we all came here to live, our most amazing year. And you know, I've been really into numerology for the last few years, and today I'm 43. And I kind of sat there last night working some sums out in my head, and I was obviously born on the 13th, as it is today. And I'm 43, so 4 add 3 is 7. And then I was born in the 11th month, which 1 and 1 is 2. And then I was born on the 13th, which is 1 and 3. But when you add all of those numbers up, it actually comes to 13. And I was like, maybe that always happens. I haven't actually worked it out for any other years yet. But I just kind of found that it was really significant that when you add all of my digits up, of the day and the month that I was born, it comes to that number. So anyway, I'm digressing, but you know, we are in a whole new era of energy. So committing to you is about committing to acceptance of what has been. Let me say that again. It's about committing to acceptance of what has been, because you know, regret is an energy. You know, wishing that you'd done something differently is an energy. Hindsight is an energy. And when we kind of live in that space of wondering about what we could have done differently if we'd done things differently in the past, ultimately doesn't actually help to move us forward. So I'm encouraging you to commit to accepting what has been. And then in the same vein, I want you to commit to accepting what is right now. Because when we commit to accepting exactly where we are and the fact that we can affect it in this moment, that then starts to become really quite magical. And then I want you to take it to another level. And I want you to commit like you've committed to never living before. And this is the first day of your life of being you. Because we are human beings. And, you know, for me, this is all about us being here. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But when we be ourselves and we be what we are here to be, and we commit to moving forward just one day at a time. Again, my great friend Derek Mills, the author of the 10-Second Philosophy, Derek talks about daily standards, and he talks about kind of living in those daily standards, but just for one day. Because we can project so much forward, and yet I will continue to say this, none of us know what's going to happen in the future. So committing to each day, one step at a time, is actually chunking it far smaller. When I talk to people about doing things in life and about completing tasks and about achieving things, I always talk about chunking it smaller. Why not chunk your life smaller? What does it mean if you actually chunk life in just one day chunks at a time? That's a whole different energy, isn't it? Because there's no concern about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, next month, next year. What we're committing to is right now. So we're committing to what is. You know, the end of the prayer, thy will be done. And that is about, you know, acceptance of this will be done now in this moment. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about then is, you know, is about integrity. What does it mean if life goes on as it is right now? Now, is life happy right now? Because as I said when I started, happiness is the most underrated energy on the planet. And happiness is so, so important. Because kind of if you haven't got happiness, what is it all about? You know, they talk about some seriously wealthy people that are really unhappy. Because actually sometimes they spent such a, you know, they were so driven to get in there that they forgot about why they were trying to do it in the first place. And why is so, so powerful. And why for me is just, you know, you're going to be seeing a video over the next few days that I did with the amazing Falak KB of Beeline Films. And, you know, she said to me, she said, you know, is your daughter your why? And I was like, hell yeah, her and my husband. Because actually, you know, what I am here to do and what I am here to be is to live my most fulfilled life. So when you think about the integrity of your life, and you think about, you know, if you are not, hand on heart, 100% happy with your life right now, what you've got to think about is what it is you need to change to move that forward. So the question is, what happens if you continue the way that you are at the moment? What happens if, you know, what happens if this is your last day? Are you standing there and saying, yeah, I'm really proud of what's happened. I'm really thrilled with my life the way that it is at the moment? Because, you know, what I want to encourage you to do is be brave, because it does take bravery. You know, I got asked the question the other day, you know, what 3 tips would you give to somebody that wants to break free from the 9 to 5? And I would say, firstly, I would ask you, you know, why do you do what you do? Because I know that I ended up in a corporate job out of integrity for my family, because I thought that, you know, that was going to make them happy. I thought that that was going to, you know, that was going to get them to look at me and be proud of me by being in this corporate role that I thought I wanted. And when actually I started to really dig deep and understand who I was, what I realised was the only reason that I did that job was because I was trying to be like my older sister. And actually the only person I ever came here to be was Claire. So for you right now, think about your integrity. You know, is it that you are, you know, in a great place seemingly on the outside in your life, and actually on the inside things are falling apart and it's crumbling and you're just too scared? And that's where I say you've got to be brave. You've got to be brave, people, because it takes a hell of a lot of courage to become unincorporated like I've done. It's taken a hell of a lot of courage, tenacity, strength, integrity, responsibility, bravery for me to get to where I am today. And I know that you can do that too, and I would love to help you do that too. So take some time out and ask yourself a question. Now, you are going to feel resistance to doing this. Totally, you are going to feel resistance to doing this. And you're going to feel resistance to doing it because probably it's what you really need to do, but you've got resistance to doing it because you've got resistance to actually seeing what's underneath. And maybe your greatest self is inside you and it's just waiting to break out. So take some time and ask yourself the question, what happens if you continue as you are? Then ask yourself the question, are you really happy? You know, your doing is only as effective as your being doing the doing. Your doing is only as effective as your being doing the doing. So if you are just doing life and not living life and expanding life and excelling life, then you're just doing the do. And it brings me back to something that I didn't cover, that I said I was going to cover a few minutes ago, and that is this whole, you know, premise of living in a world of be, do, have. You know, it's about being who you want to be right now in the now. And that's, you know, takes me back to committing what is and to committing to this moment right now. It's about doing what you need to do to be that person in the now. And then you will have whatever it is that you want to have. But you've got to vibrate on a level that's going to attract the things that you really want to happen in your life. Which then leads me nicely onto the third step. It's all about responsibility. Who else is going to do it if you're not? You know, for a long time in my life, I lived in a world where it was other people's responsibility. I used to blame everybody for everything. I never took responsibility for my actions and for my life and for how I was showing up in my life on a daily basis. I didn't take responsibility for the things that I really needed to take responsibility for. And, you know, taking responsibility for what is going on in your life removes you from being in that victim stance. It removes you from being in that world of not being in the now, as I've already said. Because taking responsibility and owning everything is a bloody brave thing to do. Because believe me, to start off with, it really hurts. So how do you do this? You know, you might be sitting there saying, Claire, I don't even know how to take responsibility. I've got so used to doing things the way that I've done them for all these years. I don't even know how to do that. Well, first, the really simple thing to start with first, and we're going to cover more of this as the week goes, is start to look at your language. Listen to what is coming out of your own mouth today, just for today. You remember what we said? We're going to take this in bite-sized chunks and we're going to do it in small steps. So listen to what is coming out of here just today. And listen to the words. Do you hear yourself saying, well, you know, there wasn't anything I could do about that. It wasn't my fault. Do you hear other people saying that it was down to you? It's about getting seriously mindful. And, you know, I have to say that synchronicity is so interesting, because some of the people that are watching right now, I know that this is really relevant to them. And so, you know, what that tells me is the universe brought you right in here at the right moment for you to hear this. So, again, it's also about taking responsibility for what has happened and accepting that it is what it is, as with commitment, and just saying, do you know what? Okay, now it's time to move on. Because we can dwell in that energy of regret, and I will keep saying this to you, but by taking responsibility and starting today to listen to what comes out of your mouth, to actually analyse situations. You know, there could be a situation that's going on in your life at the moment that you kind of say, well, you know, that's not my fault. It's not my fault that that's happened. Yeah, it absolutely is. It's 100% your fault. Because you 100% made the decisions to do what you did. You know, when people say, you know, oh, it was 50-50. There is never any 50-50 about it. It's 100% each person's responsibility. You've got to step up and own up. And when you do that, that is when you really start to change that vibration. That is when things in life really start to change. Because you are actually owning what you are here to do and what you have been doing. So let's do a quick recap. What can happen when you commit? Well, magic can happen when you commit. Because actually when you commit to this being the day where things do seriously change, and this being the first day of the future, that is when the magic really starts to happen. So commit to accepting what has been and park it and move forward. You cannot change it now, it's gone. Commit to what is right now. It could be that you have been working a corporate job for many, many years like I did, and that you have, you know, seemingly on the outside had a really great life. You know, outward looking in, you know, the Joneses and all that jazz, you know, 2.4 kids, white picket fence, as you know, we used to say. It might be on the outside, people look at you and they think that life is amazing. And maybe you have all the money that you want in your life, but actually inside you're crumbling. I know how that feels. And it's not a great place to be. And committing to being brave is the first step that you need to make, because it's going to take bravery, it's going to take courage, it's going to take belief, and it's going to take a hell of a lot of trust and faith for you to get out of that situation. But you absolutely can do it. So commit. Number 2, what does it mean if your life goes on as it is? You know, this integrity thing. If life is not the way that you want it to be, if you are not living your wild, unleashed, unlimited, unincorporated life, then actually, are you going to look back and wish that you'd done things differently? And a little bit like I said in the first part, regret energy is a complete waste of time because it doesn't achieve anything. So, number 3, responsibility. Who else is going to do this for you if you don't do it? Because, you know, you can lead a horse to water. And for many years I've said this old saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. You can put salt in its mouth and you can fool it, and you can say, you know, I'm going to trick you into doing something that you don't want to do. But the reality is that in tricking it, you never quite get the result that you thought you were going to get. And you know, that is what you've got to question. That is what you've got to work out, and I can help you do that. So the final little bit of magic that I'm going to leave you with is a super simple bit of magic, and it's just live your life. Live your life on your terms and be true to you. Because for many years, I lived a life where I was bleeding all over people that didn't hurt me, because I wasn't dealing with what had hurt me, and I wasn't changing what had hurt me, which compelled me to bleed all over these people that had never actually done anything to me. And some of those people were great people, some of them were not so great people. Like I always say, a reason, a season and a lifetime, and that's something we're going to come on to later in the week. But if you want to change something, if you want to seriously step up, it's my birthday month. So do you know what? For my birthday, I'm doing some special deals on the one-to-one work. So if you want to change your life, if you want to create a lifestyle and a life and business that you love, if you want to really embrace true happiness right now, if you want to redesign the blueprint of your life that you're living from, then click on the link below and book in an appointment with me. I have space for 4 clients right at this moment because I've got some big plans for 2019 and I know what time I'm going to need to do that. And so right at this moment, I've got 4 slots to transform 4 people's lives. And, you know, come into my world, be part of my world. One of the things that people say to me more than anything is, you know what, Claire, your energy is infectious. So if you want to have a bit of infectious energy in your life, and if you want to seriously change what is going on and start living a really happy and fulfilled life, then click on the link below and book in. Also, I want to ask you a favour, because, you know, seriously, we live in a world at the moment where there is a lot of people not living the lives that they are here to live. And maybe you're living your happiest life and you've watched this, but maybe there's another woman in your life that you know is not living her happiest life and needs some help and support. Please share this video with her, because hopefully in some way it's going to inspire her. Maybe it isn't that she's the woman that is going to be one of my intimate fold that I'm going to help and that I'm going to help transform, but maybe just watching this video is going to seriously help her do something differently. And if I can make one more person smile today than was yesterday and inspire somebody, again, I've done my why. So I need your help. Share it for me, please, and actually go and take some action on some of the things that I've shared with you today. And we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll get a post later to tell you what tomorrow is all about, but we're going to continue this theme as the week goes on. But like I say, share it, vibe it, love your life, ladies, because you came to here to be unlimited, unleashed and unincorporated. I'll catch you tomorrow. See you later.